So next coin down the list, Ripple, XRP. And by the way, for all these cryptocurrencies, you have the full name and you have the ticker. It's just like with stocks, right? You have the full name like Bank of America and the ticker would be BAC. So same thing with cryptos. The ticker would be XRP. That's how you look it up. That's the symbol for it, but the full name would be Ripple. Okay, so Ripple, created in 2012 by Ripple Labs. So it's actually developed by banks, which is a very crazy and weird thing, right? They're using it to replace the SWIFT transfer method. So basically, when you're sending money internationally from one location to the other, usually it goes through several intermediaries through the bank, and that's why they charge you a lot. And also that's why it takes 5 business days or however many days for your money to go from one location to the other. So what they're doing is they want to have a cryptocurrency that they can use to settle payments quickly and instantly without going through all these intermediaries. So they've developed this crypto. So it's built for banks and payment providers to send money globally. And it doesn't use a blockchain. So that's the crazy part, right? What it does use is it has distributed ledgers and it has validating servers that they have that will validate those transactions. Now that creates a problem because it's not really decentralized. It's owned by banks for their purpose, but then they have a lot of control over it, which goes a little bit against, what cryptocurrencies should have. Nonetheless, if you go on CoinMarketCap, Ripple, because we're going down the list like this, right? Still the third biggest crypto in the world. So it has its space, it has its uses, and obviously if it can gain this market, the SWIFT transfers and settlement between banks, that's a huge market in itself. Obviously there's way more to it. You have to think of how it's used. When banks use it to transfer, they have to burn a specific quantity. Well, depending on the value of that currency, will they use it or will they not use it? So does it have this much room to grow or not? Personally, you have to do your own research, obviously, but personally, Ripple is not one of my favorites just because of this decentralization issue. Around 3-second transfer time, so extremely quick, backed by banks. And again, is that a bad thing? Is that a good thing? People have different opinions. Some people have the opinion of, it's backed by banks. The objective of having cryptocurrencies is decentralization, banks not owning it. But then at the same time, when you're in a market that's being blocked by banks and government, right? All these cryptocurrencies, you have a hard time investing in them. At one point, banks didn't let people transfer into exchanges so they can buy their cryptos or put limits on it because, it's scary for them, right? It's something that could take business away from them. So if you have a cryptocurrency that's backed by banks, they can support it. They can give access to their clients to it. Is it really a bad thing or is it a good thing? So, there's the two sides to this dilemma. So the protocol for Ripple, distributed ledger, validating servers, they created 100 billion XRP. Ridiculous amount of ripples, right? If I click on XRP, total supply, this amount, that's a huge amount, right? Not 21 million like Bitcoin, but 100 billion, right? Huge. Let's see here. They have the Ripple transaction protocol. That's the rules to make their transaction. The network is about 75 banks around the world. So these validating servers are within 75 banks around the world, and they would validate the transactions. Now they trust each other, and that's why they have it in that way. But again, it's not true decentralization. The banks still own it. That's, it's one of the cons. It's one of the cons I have there, because whenever you're looking at these cryptos, there's these main things, decentralization, non-immutable, so they cannot change it. They cannot alter it after it's done. transparency. You see everything. You don't need to trust anybody. Here, you still have to trust the banks. Ripple Lab releases 1 billion XRP each month for themselves. So yeah, another con. Ripple Labs, basically they create 1 billion XRPs each month. They release a billion each month for themselves to use to promote the company or for anything that they feel that they need to do to help the Ripple grow. Now, they're not using it stupidly in terms of, I know the last, some of the months they would release the billion, and if they would only use 100 million and keep the 900 billion, put it back in storage. So, they're not using it stupidly, but then again, they're giving a bunch of money away for other stuff. I think if I go here on YouTube, I think Ripple gave some on the Ellen DeGeneres show, right? They gave some money. So Ellen DeGeneres show, Ripple donates $4 million to the wildfire fund. So they just give $4 million, and I'll take the volume off here, but they give $4 million. Ashton Kutcher goes on Ellen DeGeneres, says, okay, you know what? I'll give you $4 million of Ripple, and here you go. He takes out a phone. He's like, look, this is how simple it is for me to send you some money. I'll grab my phone, let me click send, and she clicks send on it. Up. She's like, oh, let me click send. And then the $4 million is transferred, and she gets it. And, that's something that, Ripple did to promote their coin, right? They want to promote it. They want people to know about it. So they're giving away coins. And that's something a lot of cryptos are doing. Airdrops where they just give away coins so people get to know it, have it, and use it. But, at the end of the day, is that going to add value to that crypto? Or is it just giving away money, right? At the end of the day, when this fund or the funds that she gets for her, wildfire relief or whatever, she has to sell them, that pushes the price down, right? So all in all, are these great things for the future, or are they not great things for the future? Are they increasing the potential for Ripple to grow? One thing I don't, and again, maybe you might notice by now that Ripple isn't my favorite. I've said so, but there's nothing new with the technology that they're doing. They've done everything. So now all they're doing is trying to promote their coin. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in things that are going to have, more add-ons, new things coming into it. Banks own huge percentage of the coin. Again, that's a con for me. And if the price is too expensive, won't be used. So again, if Ripples cost a lot, then will these banks use it to transfer coins for one another, or will they just use the regular SWIFT system to pay less? At the end of the day, transferring is a huge business for banks, and that's why some people think that Ripple is a great coin, because it can take over that business. But then if the price of Ripples go so high, will they actually use it? Again, cons, positives, you can see both sides of it. I just wanted to go through it and, just let you know about these different coins, how they have different uses, different purposes, they're different projects, and they have different protocols, right? And then you have to look at this and see, well, which project do I like? Do I like this project? Or do I like the one before where you have a platform and people can build an application on it? Or do I like a specific application and this project I think would be better? And looking at the cons, looking at, the positives, and forming your opinion about which one you actually think would be valued more. So we're going to keep going down a few more and, just go through the process of thinking about what is this one, what is that one, what do they do, positives, cons, and whatnot.